So I'm really looking forward to breaking down all three of these different subwoofer option lines from Down4Sound. I reached out to JP and said, hey, I want to look into the new subs that y'all are offering. They came out this year and last year. So he's been working really hard the last few years to get this to happen, and it finally happened. So these are the 12-inch size subwoofers. They may not look like 12s, but yes, all three of these are 12s. Going to be able to show y'all all three of these today. So from the right is the first lineup, 500 watt RMS rated. It is the SB Street Beat. In the middle here is the DBZ, and then on the left here is the DVX. So we're going to break down all three of them. So I figured to start off with the simplest sub first, the SB Street Beat. Looks like the ultimate budget-friendly subwoofer option from the three we're looking at today. It comes in an 8, 10, 12, or 15-inch subwoofer size. Of course, I'm diving into the 12-inch size, my favorite. This sub has a rating RMS of 500 watts RMS. And then, of course, 2.5 is the voice coil size. Looks like the mounting depth is slightly less than 7 inches for the 12, but that depends on the size sub you choose. The motor height is about 3.5 inches. It looks like the wire speaker terminals can handle between 8 and 12 gauge. Didn't really see anything on the site about the X-Max, but looks like it's around 15 to 18 millimeters one way and weighs roughly 22 pounds right out the box. The suspension is definitely optimized for precise sound, packing a good punch at a good cost margin. So if you want to know more about this sub, check out the link in the description. And for my opinion, I say the basket looks a little bit cheap on the end, but of course, for being only rated 500 watts RMS, it gets the job done. Also, the other two sub lines offer a carbon fiber cone, where this line is more budget friendly. It doesn't really offer that with a cheap paperly cone material, but it does get the job done and probably helps keep the cost down for manufacturability. I really like the motor structure look for it with the fancy bottom layout that has a cosmetic design on it. In case you decide if you want to invert the subwoofer and shut off the magnet, it kind of makes it look like a nice appeal there. So anyway, that's it for the SB Street Beat line. Let's go ahead and take a look at the DBZ Sound subwoofer Down4Sound 12-inch line. So the DBZ, the 12-inch size is what I'm looking at, is definitely an ultimate budget banger, delivering exceptional performance and value for the cost. Comes in all sizes, 8, 10, 12, 15, and the 18-inch. So the other sub we just looked at before this, the SB did not have an 18-inch. But of course, that's to be expected for the motor size and the price point. This line is probably going to get the most interest behind all three options that he's offering right now. Doesn't look like it's the cheapest nor the most expensive. It's rated at 1,300 watts RMS. It has a coil size of 2.75 inches, right under 3. Mounting depth is slightly under 8 for the 12, it looks like, and of course it varies by the size sub you choose. The weight right out the box is roughly 33 pounds. It says on the sheet the X-Max is 28 millimeters. That's a really healthy X-Max. The motor size is 7.5 inches. Definitely really heavy and a lot more beefy than the other one, of course, until we see the DVX next. Looks like the wire speaker terminals can handle up down to 4 gauge and up to 8 gauge, or even smaller or bigger depending on what you choose. The real carbon fiber dust cap have extra strength and better performance on this sub is really fancy. I really like that. It also has better durability and handles the power RMS rating and cooling better. The coil is very tight, so it will offer you a powerful punchy bass response until it's broken in. So you definitely want to let this sub break in before you go full hammer on it. And of course for the lows, so the FS has to loosen up to be able to play lower frequencies. And it also depends on the box spec that you put in this subwoofer. So whether you're upgrading your daily driver system or building an SPL system, this line looks to be very promising for that. The DBZ 12-inch subwoofer offers the perfect blend of affordability and power. I don't really have anything bad to say about this sub line, the DBZ line. Maybe they could improve the logo to pop a little bit better, but for the affordability price point, with a high RMS rating of 1300, the capabilities fit well together. Everything looks really well put, manufactured properly the way a subwoofer should be, and I really like the color choice for the basket as well as the motor structure for the nice cooling appeal and opportunity it has. So if you want to know more, check out the link in the description for this sub, and that is all for the DBZ subwoofer line from Down4Sound. Now let's take a look at the last one, the DVX subwoofer. So this subwoofer, the last one of the three, is the DVX, rated at 1,700 watts RMS conservatively. It looks like it only comes in a 12, 15, or 18-inch subwoofer size, not the 8 or 10 like the prior line I just showed you, the DBZ line. But of course that's to be expected, being that the magnet is so huge. It has to only come in those sizes. It has a 3-inch voice coil size. It looks like it weighs roughly 60 pounds right out the box. It was definitely a little heavier than the others when I was putting it on the table. The X-Max is 33 millimeters. Mounting depth is a little over 9 inches, a lot more steep. So you need a bigger box for this one. Real carbon fiber dust cap for extra strength and better performance. Definitely love the carbon fiber dust cap. This beast of a DVX sub is ideal for both daily driver systems and demo-based car audio systems. The motor size is slightly larger as well, with an 8.5-inch size width. Looks like the site says it has a higher, slightly extended pole piece for increased linear throw and durability. And of course, that pole vent is flared on both ends. It kind of helps maintain proper cooling and lower the noise from the motor. And the extensive rear gap venting helps lower the coil temperature as well. So that's pretty cool, fascinating design in that. Looks like it has a speaker terminal can handle down to 4 gauge. I really like the really beast looking subwoofer of the DVX that has that rug design look to it and that really beefy feel. I'm sure the DVX line can handle a little over 1700 watts RMS, probably 2 to 2.5K clamped clean power, but that just depends on applications in the box. Definitely a demo friendly monster sub, and if I would have to say personally, I don't recommend this subwoofer for SPL unless you want to try it, but daily ground pounder and for demos, definitely for sure. So if you want to check out more details about this subwoofer, check out the link in the description. And so now that I showed you all 3 lines of the subwoofers from Down4Sound that they currently offer, the SB, DBZ, and the DVX, let's take a look at some of the good amplifier combos that you could choose for these subwoofers as well. So the JP23 and the JP1300, as you just saw me do a quick unboxing, I hope you enjoyed that. 2 really beefy amplifiers, definitely underrated. Check out other videos on YouTube. You can see a lot more details of them clamped numbers for this, doing a quick overview. And if you want to know more about these amplifiers as well, definitely recommend checking out the links in the description for these. And if anybody's wanting to see specs, I'll show you a quick shot as well for these amplifiers. And I'll show you at the end of the video how to tune the amplifiers before we close the video. So these amplifiers are half bridge, or you can wire them down to half ohm with the proper electrical system. Has built-in fans. I really like the bass knob also on here. You're able to have temperature check and a clipping monitor, and that's 2 features you don't see in a lot of amps. Made in Korea, so these amplifiers are definitely beefy, stouted, and if you got the newer versions, check out link in the description. You'll be able to get the back plexiglass view on these. And another cool feature about these is there's different color options. I chose black. There's also white, green, purple, and other options you'll see on the site. So now that I explained that, I know some people are looking forward to seeing the subflex action. Go to YouTube and search Down4Sound subflex, SB subflex, DBZ subflex, DVX subflex, and you'll see some other videos people have made on that. I no longer have a system, so I'm not going to be doing a subflex test in this video. Now let's go ahead and get to tuning the amplifier. So everybody likes to know how to tune the gain. It's not eyeball controlled. Usually you tune gain based on the pre-out RCA voltage of your head unit. A lot of people would usually have between a 5 volt and a 2 volt head unit. So you can eyeball it, but the proper way is to use a DD1 tool device to tune the amplifier, or you can just eye it based on your RCA output. Subsonic now, you're going to want to tune that usually a quarter octave below your box tuning. So if your box is tuned to 30, a quarter below that would be 22, 23 hertz, maybe 24. So you can kind of eyeball it based on the clock system of between this one, say 10 and 50 hertz. So I would put it on the 1 o'clock mark, so right at the 12, 1 o'clock. Bass boost is always off, and LPF I always like to set around 90 hertz. And of course you could do your input output slave depending on if you're going to be doing strapped gain match or you're going to be running one amplifier. So I hope you all enjoyed that overview of the 3 subwoofers from Down4Sound lineup, the SB, DBZ, and DVX, and of course the Beast amplifiers that I just showed you as well. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't for more content to come your way. A lot of demo systems to come, and of course also I'm going to be posting demo systems of these subwoofers at shows. So I've already gotten a few demos with these subwoofers, and there's more to come as the line grows and more people purchase these. Recommend purchasing them through my link in the description. Please use my link in the description if you purchase. It costs you nothing and it supports the channel. And also use discount code JacobViral at Down4Sound. I also recommend, if you want to see more other subtest videos, check out my playlist on my channel. You'll see a lot of different options there. Enjoy. Thank you for watching.